Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. It is time for the Daytona 500. A lot of you might remember last year we hit on William Byron. It was like plus 2,400 or something. It was an awesome payout. Everyone was going nuts. Hopefully we can repeat that. As I've said before, betting NASCAR, it's fun. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself particularly good at it, but I do enjoy it. So as far as this year, I've got 2 bets picked out, and I've got a third bet that I'm eyeing up. Let's talk about it. I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly.
Dog walking.
I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. First, let's talk about a driver that I will not be betting, and that is Kyle Busch. And you might be looking at this graphic thinking, what do you mean? Why aren't we betting this guy? These are really nice looking numbers at super speedways. If you're new to betting NASCAR, a super speedway, those are the long restrictor plate tracks. So we're talking about Daytona and Talladega pretty much. Kyle Busch, in his last 12 races at either Daytona or Talladega, he's got 3 top 5 finishes, 6 top 10 finishes, 10 top 20 finishes. So why wouldn't we bet this guy? Well, his prices are out of control. Plus 1,100 to win the race, plus 200 to finish in the top 5, minus 170 to finish in the top 10. I mean, those aren't even fair prices based on past results. And honestly, I don't even know what type of performance we're going to see here from Kyle Busch. We can't forget that he wasn't even running well to finish last season. In the last 9 races of last year, he had an average finish of 22.1, not a single top 10 finish. So, okay, he's got some dominant numbers on these restrictor plate tracks in the past, but based on how he was running to finish out last year, based on the price, there's no way I'm betting Kyle Busch in this one. Obviously, he's got a good chance of winning the race. He's one of the favorites for a reason, but there's better betting value elsewhere, if you ask me. Speaking of better betting value, let's talk Alex Bowman. This is probably my favorite bet right here. So Alex Bowman, his last 11 races at super speedways, an average finish of 12.5, 9 of 11 top 20s, 5 of 11 top 10s. We're getting it at plus 130. I'm eyeing up that Alex Bowman top 10 finish, plus 130. The reason we're getting such a good price here, he's starting in the back of the field. I believe he's starting 38th. That means nothing. At Daytona, Talladega especially, that means nothing. I mean, you're going to see guys go from the front to the back and back to the front again. That's how these super speedways work. I could care less that he's starting in 38th, and in my opinion, that's why we're getting such a good price here. If you remember last year's Daytona 500, we actually cashed with Alex Bowman. We had Alex Bowman top 10. Kind of got forgotten because we were all looking at the William Byron to win the race plus 2,400. That was the headline, but I also cashed Alex Bowman top 10. He finished in second last year at this exact race. The second race at Daytona last year, I believe that's in August, the Coke 0400, he finished 16th. So he runs well here. He runs well at Talladega. He runs well at the super speedways. Also, he's probably on the best team in the series. I mean, he races for Hendrick. You got the 5 car, the 24 car, the 48 car. That's him. And the 9 car. All 4 of Hendrick's cars finished in the top 10 in terms of the final standings last year. And the reason that's so important is we're talking about Daytona. There's a lot of drafting. You'll see these teammates stick together. So we should have 3 drafting teammates here that are some of the best in the field. So, yeah, I think it's great value here on Alex Bowman, top 10 plus 130. I took it. Next up, we're going to get a little more risky here. And honestly, I mean, some people might not like this one. We're going to talk about Corey LaJoie, and I bet him a few times last year. I never cashed with him. So if you were following along last year, you're probably not liking seeing Corey LaJoie's face on the screen. He's starting towards the front of the field, but that's not why I'm betting him here. Look at the price, plus 500 to finish in the top 10, plus 500. This dude has ran well at super speedways. Yes, maybe not a ton of top 10s here, 3 out of 12 in his last 12 races at super speedways, but at plus 500, 3 out of 12 is profitable at plus 500. But in addition to that, look at the bottom of this graphic, 8 of 12 top 20 finishes. So he's right there. Like I said, Corey LaJoie has run well in these super speedways. So you might be thinking, Kyle, he's starting towards the front of the field. He's run pretty well at these super speedways. Why are we getting such an insane price with Corey LaJoie? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, he finished out the season not running too well, let's say. In the last 8 races of last year, he had an average finish just under 28. That's pretty bad. Not a single top 10. So he did not look good to finish out last year. He also lost his job. He's racing for Rick Ware now. For those of you unfamiliar with NASCAR, Your team is important, especially in these super speedways when drafting is huge. He's racing for Rick Ware, who, I mean, he owns 2 cars. Those cars finished in 34th and 35th in the standings last year. For those of you who don't follow NASCAR, he's playing for the Miami Marlins of the field. I mean, this is not a great team. The 15 car is now the 01 car. That's what he's driving, so he's going to be in the 01. That's why we're getting such a good price with Corey LaJoie, because he's racing for Rick Ware. Didn't look good to finish out the year. And this is the Daytona 500, where having strong teammates is important. So that's why we're getting such a good price. I did bet it. It's a Corey LaJoie top 10 plus 500. We'll see. Like I said, it has been profitable. He's hit 3 of the last 12. Little bit higher risk here, though. Last but not least, let's talk about the Stenhouse, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. For those of you that don't follow NASCAR, he's very all or nothing. I'll say, I mean, he's won 2 of his last 12 races here at super speedways. He's won. He won at Talladega last year. He won the Daytona 500 2 years ago. So this guy is capable of winning the race. It wouldn't be weird if Stenhouse won the race. But look at the top 20 finishes, 4 out of 12. He's very all or nothing. He's either up there to win the race at the end, or he's back at 31st. If you look at his race results at these super speedways, I mean, Daytona 500, like 33rd. Next race at Daytona, like 31st. Then he wins at Talladega. And it was the same thing 2 years ago. I mean, he wins the Daytona 500. Then he's in 35th at Talladega. So very all or nothing. I'm just saying, in terms of the price, plus 2,500 to win, plus 400 to finish in the top 5. I mean, this guy has a realistic chance to win here because he's capable of doing it. He's capable of closing out the race at the end. I don't know if I actually bet on Stenhouse. I have a friend that blindly bets Stenhouse every single week because he is capable of winning. I don't know if I actually bet this one, but if I was to place a third bet, it would be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That's all I got for this one. Please remember to bet responsibly. Like I said before, I enjoy betting these NASCAR races because it's fun. I don't know if I could turn a profit long-term betting these NASCAR races, but they are fun. It's the Daytona 500. Of course, we're going to place some bets. So that's what I'm doing in this one. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. Later.